So you may or may not recall that I ended that last Way of the Samurai video by saying,
and stay tuned because I'm telling you, this nutty bitch is about to turn the heat up on your ass.
and if I'm being completely honest, that was probably a little bit misleading. I haven't touched the second installment of Way of the Samurai in a very long time, and I booted it up with the idea that I'd be getting something a little nuttier and wackier. Something that was gonna have me in a state of, oh, holy hell, existential torment. I no longer have a place in this world. Look, there's no need for a silly, flowery little intro. It's been a while. We know why we're here. I've got nothing but guff from a lot of you for like a year and a half about it. So by God, holy hell, we're talking about Way of the Samurai 2, the second game, WOTS 2, the second to last samurai, the second game that. In essence, the overall structure remains just about the same, so if you're coming off of the first Way of the Samurai, the tools are already at your disposal. You still progress through the story by your decision making, you fight with swords, and if you get hit too many times, you're gonna die. And you're probably also gonna go to hell. This time around, movement and swordplay feels a tad bit smoother, and as you start to develop more skills for your weapons, there's a noticeable decrease in lag after you finish an attack, which allows you some room to better chain together combos. The control scheme hasn't changed, however, there's a tiny caveat here. Before, square and triangle correlated to a weak and strong attack, but here they've been retranslated to represent your horizontal and vertical attacks. This is done in order to better define the mechanism of your parry. If I see that an enemy is about to load up a horizontal attack, I simply hold back while I block to parry. But if my enemy's throwing a lot of vertical attacks, I do the opposite by pushing through forward. As soon as you initiate a parry, you don't just throw the enemy off balance like you did before, but would you look at that? Look who's sitting there with their dingling in their hands. These counterattacks are an important part of your arsenal, and it's pretty easy to get the hang of as you'll start to notice patterns in an enemy's attacks. And getting used to the system is pretty crucial if you've unlocked the finishing blow difficulty, where if you take a single hit you die, so this parry mechanic really comes in handy. Let's move on to the map for a second. Once you start, you'll immediately notice just how closed in and snug areas of this game tend to be. It's something that definitely works in your favor considering your running speed has progressed from, oh no, I gotta shit, to, oh no, I gotta shit, but I could probably hold it. It helps these treks not feel like so much of a slog, but that doesn't really matter that much. As soon as you exit an area, instead of being automatically loaded into the next segment of town, you're taken to this teeny tiny baby world map where you have to select which part of town you want to go to. Okay, cool, great. Fast travel, that's a good and convenient thing, I guess. Yeah.
You're a get the out of here.
In Way of the Samurai 1, traveling by foot forced you to become acquainted with Rikatsu Pass and the different ways you can traverse it. Say if I was told to head to the foundry and I'm currently at the bridge, I know to head through the station, hook a left, and continue over the railroad. But I could also plop myself off the bridge, continue down the stream, and nabbit, there I am. Taking that foot travel out of the equation also takes out the need for me to familiarize myself with my surroundings and my sense of direction. Especially when no matter where I'm coming from, I'm always gonna enter each part of town from the same entrance. It's not a big deal, but like, give me a little bit of credit. Let me learn about this place organically by traveling through it. Aside from the edge of town, the Alto gang headquarters, and the magistrate's office, there isn't much diversity to how different locations are structured. A few sections do offer restaurants, bars, and general stores which can contain some pretty cool items and accessories, and I think maybe now's a good time to talk about the RPG mechanics that are introduced in this game. Out my shit! So I mentioned shops, which is obviously where you're gonna purchase goods. Duh. You can buy food, sake to get drunk and scream at the bartender. You can buy evil devil guy mask and add it to your face. Evil face. You remember how before, in order to heal yourself, you just had to stumble upon a mushroom or fish and kick it into your mouth like Tom and Jerry? Well, now you have an inventory system for you to store said items so that you can access them whenever you'd like. And you can also carry more than one, so if you want to stock up on radishes and just heal it up however many times you fucking want, you can, dude. You can even purchase these Buddhist beads that beef up your health to the point that you have so much health, who gives a shit if I get hit? Hit me, I don't care, it's made of rubber. You're a baby and I'm a big boy. If you do happen upon one of these shops though, you'll notice, oh shit, I don't have nearly enough cash for that. I need some money. Obviously kicking through boxes and grabbing change off the floor isn't gonna cut it. So guess what, baby?
Everybody's working for the weekend.
That's a work, Roman. Go and strike your weapon.
Each job boils down to, hey, go kill this guy, or these guys are fighting, go kill these guys, or a fetch quest, go get these baby. Hold on to your diaper, baby, you're going right into my inventory. You know, there's not much else to say because this is all pretty standard stuff. Accessories make their debut in this game, and I don't think anything entirely fits you, and it's always just a little off, but it's cool for now. I'm just gonna use the eye patch. I don't give a hoot or toot. Something cool I noticed is that the description for the afro implies that Donna from the first game was either wearing a wig or otherwise he took his hair off and left it behind. I'm sure you'll also notice this new little bar and these flowers. The bar is your stamina, and the flower indicates how much time is left in the day. You're good, goddamn correct. This game runs on a time system. Oh, how does it work? I don't know. It's definitely there though. To replenish your stamina, you can drink sake, but I almost never do that. I just sleep the day away in this little shack that you're given, kind of like your home base. The same weapon system carries over from the last game, but there's also going to be a few new tweaks to this. Just as before, you still only carry 3 swords at a time, but now you have your very own sword safe outside of the playthrough that you can just stick a sword into if you aren't going to need it at the time. You'll also notice in the corner that there's this little quality rating on your weapon, which indicates the number of times you can upgrade your weapon's attack or defense, but that's kind of a lie, because in order for your weapon to reach its true potential, you can just keep upgrading that bad boy, and this is actually important if you want Dojima to appraise your weapon. Oh yeah, Dojima's back in this game. Appraising your weapon can greatly increase your attack or defense based on its quality, how much experience you've gained with it, and how many people you've killed with said sword, you crazy prick. And this is the optimal way to beef up your arsenal. However, in order to get a weapon that even has the potential quality to be worthy of an upgrade, once again depends on which difficulty you're playing on. I almost forgot to mention too that there's 2 brand new stances in this game, fencing and two-handed. Two-handed is self-explanatory, you hold 2 swords. This is something they do better in the next game and the game after, but fencing, however, is my personal favorite. It's like it was pulled directly out of an anime. I can even hear an angry 10-year-old playing 3 Days Grace in the background. There's a whole litany of new weapon designs in this game too, and different blade sizes. It's all pretty damn imaginative. My personal favorite is Hanzaemon Zankimaru. Any sword that's like super long and skinny, I'm just gonna call the Sephiroth sword. So his Sephiroth sword. If the game itself doesn't convey that goofy, wacky essence that is Way of the Samurai well enough, at the very least it's clear in its character designs. You get a whole new selection of unlockable heads and outfits, and they offer more in terms of creativity. Like there's even more than one girl head, and there's even an armor dude. My favorite is the cool-ass hooligan gang member outfit, but putting the old man head on it. A lot of the Auto gang characters look like circus freaks. And again, you have your token blonde girl, you have the Joker baby triplets that I agree are not the same character model times 3. Big Bad Hanzaemon is pretty sick too with his little guy, big boot, and Sephiroth sword scheme. And I really appreciate too that the purple, red, blue color scheme is brought over from the previous game. I don't love the copy paste every gang member NPC thing carried over though, because it's annoying and I don't care to see this guy over and over again. But there are some big old cornbread fed country bumpkins, I'll tell you what. I think the same goes for the red guy villagers. They don't look nearly as cool as the Akadama clan from the previous game. The magistrates are also kind of bland looking. Nakamura has a kind of cool and interesting design, at least until you realize he's one of those haha, he's evil because he's gay, and it's funny because he's gay. And that's not my indictment of this character, that's just an assessment of a bad stereotype that's already existed. I didn't make it, I promise. But guess what?
I'm a bitch, I'm a lover, I'm a child.
Kyojo's probably got my favorite design in the whole game. She's got that whole dark and unhinged warrior aesthetic, which is perfect because she's more than likely the devil. Remember how I said you were gonna go to hell if you died? Well, remember that, huh? And Danpachi is unfortunately the only resident hottie to boot in this game, but he doesn't show up that much, so too bad, so sad. Oh shit, did I mention we have voice acting this time around?
Well, the pain in my side was gone, so I got hungry. Well, I had 9 bean jam rice cakes.
The soundtrack's once again written by Noriyuki Asakura, and this time around I found it to be a lot less atmospheric. Each track sort of just follows the same style and structure, so it's kind of hard to differentiate one song from another. And it's not a bad soundtrack. I think overall I'm fine with it, just that it tends to be a little monotonous at times. And yeah, I get it. I'm not playing a game to hear the music, but for me I enjoy when the music doesn't just accent the game and can serve as a means for highlighting specific feelings and themes. It just doesn't have that trademark stoic, desolate warrior tone that I'd expect from a game about a stoic, desolate warrior. But again, it's fine. Way of the Samurai 2 mostly follows that whole two rival factions fighting and villagers caught in the crossfire whilst an omnipresent true evil force looms in the background dynamic. Same as the last game. Sorry, I'm gonna say that like a million times. Your major players are the Auto Gang. They're bad guys. The Magistrates. They're bad guys too. And the villagers. Some of them are the bad guys too. And it's that same method of choosing which faction you want to progress through the game with and stick to through the very end of the playthrough. And while this game offers the same number of endings as the first one, each is going to have its own branching paths and ways of concluding their own story. If you want to be bad, be bad. If you want to be a cop, go be bad. One thing I forgot to mention in the last video is that each game has one ending that offers a conclusion considered to be the true ending. And what I should have done before was judge the story based off the game's official true ending. So that's what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna talk about the true ending instead of the rest of them. I'll try my best to make this as quick as possible, but we're gonna cover every beat here. You meet a little girl and she feeds you some crap. You save her from dumbass, and dumbasser. Bring her to this geisha place and holy crap, she can't talk. Also, you can't stay here for free, bitch. So go help the doctor, bitch. I actually think samurai are pretty cringe. I'm gonna teach her how to read. Actually, I'm pretty cringe. You have to pay to teach this little asshole how to read, so everybody's touching on my penis. Well, ain't that about a damn thing? The dog has a name. And then we wait. 23, 24, 25, okay. Okay, now we can go to the festival. The lardass is trying to charge million money, but they don't know this goofy broad's hooked on phonics. Good girl, time to die at lardasses. Thanks, you dead silly oaf bastard. We kill everyone. This is our first time meeting. Oh no, big fight. Please move out of the way. Please don't get hit, you fucking idiot. Thank you for fighting importantly. This is our first time meeting. Yo, didn't I just help you? I was pushing Soma. Alright, I'm heading out. Hello, I'm adopting the dog girl. I do not know who you are. Hey, give us the dog. I'm so tired of fighting you. Hell yeah, that should be about it. God damn it. Hey, you taught the girl how to write. Now she will write drugs for us. LOL. You are a pussy, and we hope you go to hell. This is our first time meeting. Hi. I'll give you 500 smackaroos if you want to just walk away. Ah! Alright, back to the brothel. For my fellas. Boys night! Boys night! Boys night! Boys night! Oh, hey, bud. Sorry, the doctor killer policeman came and took the kid. Really nothing we could do.
Look at this.
The duck may swim on the lake, but my daddy owns the lake.
Okay, cool. She's making drugs for the cops now. I'm gonna kill every cop in this town. Kill me, or I'm gonna kill the... Hi, doggy. The story closes with you and the mute child you've worked this whole game to protect, leaving together through the very gates you first came in contact. And I think that aspect of it is kind of heartwarming, but the road to get there is kind of a muddled mess of power struggle within power struggle, and it's just not something that I really saw much of throughout the whole gameplay itself. The way the game is set up, this seems to be the most intuitive playthrough for first timers as well, and a lot of these characters are somehow absent throughout the narrative that I don't get a good picture of how different factions relate to one another. I mean, most of these encounters tend to be the first time you cross their paths in the story. The motives are clear, but only really as each thread comes to an end, and it all just boils down to everyone wanting to exploit the drug trade of Soma in the city. The strongest part was forming that relationship and helping Sayo grow, but there wasn't enough interactions between the little girl for it to have that kind of effect it needed. The story's fine, it just didn't really seem to capture that whole bravado of what the way of the samurai was supposed to be, at least not in the way it did in the first game. And coming into this review, I hadn't touched this game since I played it for the first time back in high school. I remember the excitement I felt knowing that the series didn't just fizzle out and disappear, and at the time I had a lot of fun playing it. But this time around, it all just felt a little bit stale. That's not me saying it's not a decent game. Is it a good sequel? Technically. The gameplay is tighter, and it introduces a lot of things into the series that really help round off its RPG elements and make the world feel more real. I didn't even mention the dojo where you can challenge Teshin in front of his students, which the whole dojo thing is so fucking cool in the future games. But I just think it comes at the expense of knowing how those certain aspects are gonna progress in the future. But before I get to that next installment in the series, I'm gonna have to take a little detour.